Hello, welcome to a new series. We're going to talk about precompile in this series. Okay, so before we talk about precompile, let's talk about what compile does. So at a high level, user writes some Python code. Typically, they'll use torch ops or NN modules. What we do in the torch compile stack is we interpret the bytecode and kind of simulate running through the bytecode. And as we're doing this, we're building an FX graph of operations. So we do that, we trace out the forward with Dynamo, and then we take that FX graph, which is just like, it's a list of operations, but conceptually it's a direct acyclic graph. And what we do is, in AOT autograd, we basically will generate the backwards and do a bunch of other stuff like functionalization, decomposition, stuff like that. And then we go to inductor with this like transformed FX graph with the backwards now, and we do code gen. And inductor code gen is basically just writing out some code. So in the case of Python code gen, like it literally will write out a Python file. And in that Python file, it basically does like pretty simple things. So it has imports, it defines the Triton kernels that it generates. And then at the bottom, there's like this runner, which effectively takes your inputs and then just like invokes these Triton kernels that it's generated. And what inductor does is it loads, it basically writes, it creates this Python file, it loads it into a callable, and then it returns it back to the user. And so that's where we get to here. And so you might be wondering, what is this? So this callable, basically each of the Triton kernels, they actually have a decorator called Triton heuristics. And the basic idea is the first time it's invoked, this Triton heuristic decorator will intercept the call to the Triton kernel and it will do runtime auto-tuning. So we'll figure out the best configuration for that kernel. And then we'll save that result. And then finally we'll invoke the function. So in future invocations, we will skip the runtime auto-tuning. Okay, so high level, that's what torch compile does. What is precompile? Precompile is taking all of this and pre-compiling it into an artifact such that you don't have to do this for future invocations or future runs. And so the basic precompile flow is you have a user model code. You call compile and precompile.save, and this gives you some file. And it's literally a file on disk, and you can call precompile.load on that file, and then invoke that function with the same tensors or inputs as if you had just compiled the function, and it just kind of works out of the box. And what's cool is, in theory, this file could be distributed. So if you have 1,000 ranks, you could just compile once and then SCP that file to the 1,000 ranks, or you could imagine a cool feature where maybe for the most common models, for most common kernels like flex attention, there's like a Hugging Face hub of precompiled artifacts. And so, for the most popular, artifacts to compile, it will actually already be precompiled, and you can just kind of download and invoke it. So okay, that's precompile at a high level. We are going to deep dive into precompile. So in the next few videos, we're going to look at the code and see how precompile actually does this. Okay, see you in the next one.